I help run a small consulting company that deals with strategic risk and geopolitical analysis. So when COVID-19 came along, it was a crisis occurring worldwide, whereas most crises occur in a nation or in a region. Our analysis on how it affects the US pretty quickly was it will lead to an economic crisis, which we then believe would lead to a public safety crisis caused by the need of people to feed themselves, literally. So we had, if you imagine, three waves. Ours was the health crisis, followed by an economic crisis, followed by a public safety crisis. So we still think this fall is the perfect storm, things that could go wrong. So if you take all the things I've just described and you assume come the fall, come the bad weather, when people are out of work and are in need, and you have the budget impact, and then you have the hurricane that we all know is coming at some point or other, because previously it's all been storms, and then you possibly have a contentious, regardless of result, national election in November. You've probably got 4 or 5 key events that, when combined, especially in this region with the weather impact, could mean that this fall coming up to about the springtime is absolutely critical for success. So the answer to us is more regionalism, recognizing that each city has responsibilities for their own city, but for the greater good, it's coordination. And actually it's cultural, it's more than just a picture, it's the need to know what everyone else is doing, because it can either benefit your city or you can benefit the others at very minimal cost. And that's a cultural thing at every level. If it's an afterthought or a thing you have to mention in the press statement, then that's just paper thin. It has to be at all times. How do we coordinate better? Every time we look back at the reason why a regional effort failed or died on the vine or whatever, everyone highlights the failures, and there's lots of reasons why it will fail. We believe that if you can show success, you can show what good looks like, you can show an example, and there'll be the doubters that say, yeah, but it cost this or this. Yeah, but until you show an example of regionalism working positively, and there are plenty of them, then people don't feel it's not real, it's just a word, and they don't ever feel or taste success at the regional level. To play it long term, between now and a treatment or a vaccine, the rate at which we grow back, I think, is very dependent on obviously all the interactions that this region has. And there are some great opportunities. They're hard to see at the moment because we're on a downturn. I think if we revert away from regionalism, if we revert away to city-specific planning, then we will miss an opportunity. Smaller is not always better in terms of flexibility. So a city can change faster than a region. But if the cities change in different directions and aren't complementing each other, the region will find it really hard to progress forward. It has to be by coordination by the willing.